Hey, y'all, this Big Dog listening to the Bigfoot Club Podcast. Cryptid Sports Entertainment. We're live.
Hey everybody, Bigfoot Club, Bigfoot Bob. I'm here with my nephew, Skookum Steven. This is season 7, episode 24. What's going on, man?
I like how you did that. It was all one take.
Of course.
It's
Of course.
such a big intro when you introduce us by pseudonames.
Yeah.
So,
of course.
How you been?
I've been good, man. I've been kind of sick this week, but it's all good.
We've all been sick because we're all in the same household.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah, the boys
you got sick, like, I guess last, kind of.
Yeah.
And then, it was Sebastian, and then I got to me, and then Blair, and then I got to Ricardo, and then I got to you.
Yeah.
And I think, I want to say, knock on wood, we're feeling all right. We're feeling okay.
All right. So today I'm pretty excited. And I haven't even told him this, but I'm going to do a little intro here.
Yeah.
Billy! Billy, let's go!
No, man, I'm fighting a predator, man. I'm not leaving these.
Yes, he got it.
He got it. So, we got in the club today, Billy Dixon.
Hello.
What's up, buddy?
You know what? I'm just enjoying life, man, as best I can, at least.
You know, I've tried really hard to get you on, like almost 2 months ago.
Yeah.
A month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know some work stuff got in the way of that, so I apologize. But I'm glad that we finally made this happen.
Yeah.
So it's been a while since I've done a podcast, so I'm kind of excited to get back into the mix of things.
It's funny because Robert was telling me, he goes, "Hey, we're gonna interview Billy, and I need you to read the Mugen Man." And I was like, "Okay, all right." And it's like, I think it's Tuesday or Wednesday of that week, and you go, "Hey, man, I need you to read it because I actually want to reread it again so it can be fresh in my mind." I go, "Okay." So I read it that day, and I was like, "Dude, this was fucking great. I can't wait to talk to him Friday." Friday happens. He's like, "Yeah, he can't make it." What the fuck? I was like, "No, I had so many questions." Like,
yeah, man. Well, I am here to answer those questions finally tonight. So,
we'll get to it.
Before we do that, we're going to talk about spoilers of Billy Dixon's comic book, The Mugen Man. So if you haven't read this comic book, stop the podcast now. Go buy it, read it, then play us again.
Yep.
So
That way you can get the inside scoop.
So
Yep. Scribblycomics.com. Go to my shop. You can get a digital copy or you can get a physical copy.
Yes.
yes, and
We have the physical copy.
we do have the physical copy. So loved it, loved it. And I think I was reading some of it, and I was talking to you, Billy, as I was reading it, and I was asking you questions. You remember that? I stopped you in the hallway.
Yes.
So, Steven, you have any? I know you probably, it's probably fresh on your mind. I know I've asked some questions before you've even asked, or
Now that you put me on the spot, like it kind of disappeared. Hold on. It'll come to me. But what my main question here, whenever I was reading it, and Robert, like, he kind of pre-warned me of how this comic book is, and he's just like, I think you were trying to explain, like, or throw some, like, comic books that are kind of like it, and I was like, what? So I was like, I just got to read it. So when I was reading it, halfway through, I go, what was his inspiration to write this?
yeah,
Like, what was, like, because I'm like, the whole time I was like, this is Inception. No, this is more than Inception. This is way, like, this is
deep
stuff of just, yeah. So what was your inspiration of writing this story, or how did it come about? What were you doing?
Well, it's kind of it's really just it's kind of a collection of things, really.
Mhm.
So I'm really into esoteric topics, cryptids, ufology, Gnosticism, like you name it. Like I'm into all of the weird stuff. So I kind of have that always rumbling around in the back of my head, and I love like making connections for things.
Mm-hmm.
But the specific moment that I thought I'm going to do this, it was meant to be a short story, but the specific moment that I started was I was actually reading a comic by Grant Morrison called Nameless, and there is a single scene in that book that takes place in a dream. You don't realize it's a dream when you're reading it, and I'm not really spoiling anything for that because you don't know you're in a dream in that book. So, you know, I guess shameless plug for Grant Morrison, who does not need my help. But so I've read that and I thought, you know, I've never read a comic book that just takes place in a dream. And I had kind of had this, like the idea of the Empyreans, which are the dream god characters with the, you know, the geometrical shapes for heads.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I had been rolling that idea around in a couple of short stories before. They were originally like, they had been everything from interdimensional beings to like space alien type things. They kind of had, that idea had kind of bounced around between a couple of different concepts before I finally landed on this. And as I started going through it, like I am a, when it comes to actually like writing and things like that, I'm a gardener, I guess. Kind of like you have people who they map out this entire story and they stick to it like exactly. They know exactly what's going to happen at this plot point and this plot point and this plot point. And I have some of that stuff like kind of outlined, but I very much just kind of start, and a lot of times I end up going in a completely different direction than what I had intended, just because it starts to like the story starts to take on a life of itself, and I just kind of let it lead me where it wants to go. And so this was originally going to be like an 8-page short story that was really just me refining that art style that I used, because I was doing at the time a previous book that was called Novus Ordo. And for that book, I had taken inspiration from lots of different places, mostly like ancient mythology, specifically Mesopotamian mythology. And some of those ideas started to kind of creep into this, and I just let them, and I just kind of let it go. So I know that's really a roundabout answer to the question of what inspired me, but it really is like an amalgamation of a lot of different things. It's really like mental vomit. Like that's really what this story was when I started writing it. It was just very instinctual how I kind of let this thing tell itself and how I let it play out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to pin down a specific like thing of what really kicked that off, other than that one specific scene from that one specific comic that was just, I guess, like the nugget.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, because like whenever I first started reading it, I go, man, I didn't know it was like the entire dream, like you were saying before. It was the whole thing was a dream.
Yeah, I was telling her, I go, what the he's in a coma?
So, okay, yeah.
He's in a coma. Like I was hurt because I was like, I was really thinking that he was like just so powerful and that he was asleep somewhere, let alone like in a coma, and then all that stuff happened. So I think that was one of my questions too, because I was talking to Robert and we were like, what is the baby? Is the baby like a part of him thinking that, you know, his wife was supposed to have the baby? I want to say she was pregnant, right?
Right.
And she was pregnant.
Yeah. So that was
I
his other side wishing that it was born, because it was something that was taken from him. You know,
Well, so the baby, I mean, maybe that's part of it. And if that's your interpretation of it, then I welcome any and all interpretations. The baby was really more so, I don't know if you caught it, but there's a scene towards the beginning of the book when Crystal first meets the Mugen Man.
Mm-hmm.
And the couple that does their thing, and then the dream kind of transforms and they're in a hospital room and she's giving birth.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's never explicitly said, but it's kind of what was really going on there was Mugen Man, and I believe it is actually explicitly said that he had been given the job of finding a newborn Empyrean.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And so the baby was really, because the dream had kind of taken the form of that hospital room.
Mm-hmm.
Then when the Empyrean was born, it presented as a newborn baby. And it didn't have its fully formed head and all that stuff, like the geometric shape. Like I showed that one picture of it specifically where like its head is basically just fuzz with that single eye in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And it's because it wasn't fully formed yet, because it needs other things to latch onto to fully form itself, as you kind of see as the book plays out. The idea of his wife being pregnant actually didn't come to me until the train scene, when I was like, I really need to drive home just how much this guy had to give up, or what this power has cost him. And it was like, well, I already knew that I wanted his wife to have been killed in the car wreck that he caused. So let me just take that to the next level. And it's like, no, he threw away a family for chasing this thing that isn't even real. I mean, it's because it's a dream, right?
Right.
And then that became the trigger point of this is where the guilt comes from. Because the theme of this book is that guilt will destroy you if you let it. Like, if you let grief and guilt build up inside of you and you never process that, it destroys you from the inside out.
Yep.
And, you know, I pretty explicitly, because of the nature of what I was dealing with, where I can diverge into alternate realities a little bit, I was able to like really show that mirror specifically towards the end of the book. But yeah, it just, like I said, it's going to be, I hope that I don't disappoint you with some of these answers, because honestly, a lot of it, because this telling of this story was so organic, a lot of it kind of fed into itself as it went.
Right.
Did you find yourself, like, when you were writing this, like you'd wake up or you're doing something and like these characters are talking to you?
Yeah. So as I was kind of going through it, I always kind of had a voice for all of the characters. I kind of knew, not necessarily specific thing. I mean, in some instances there are specific things that they would say that I knew, like, this is the line that's going in here. But I try to, when I'm writing dialogue and I'm thinking of how characters kind of play off each other and all that kind of stuff, I really look at it more from the standpoint of what is their personality type.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I try not to do is pigeonhole myself into bad dialogue. Because a lot of times when you're writing it and you're doing, like, you're writing it, but then you draw it and you have to come back and put that writing and especially the dialogue into the art. Like, you typically will find that what you originally wrote doesn't fit. Even if it fits the tone, maybe there's too much text to fit on the page, or the way that the artwork is working. Like, you've got to break the dialogue bubbles up in a certain way so that they fit right. And so you kind of have to re-edit all of your text when you put it into the word balloons anyway.
Right.
And so go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, because I think it's great that you're writing and actually illustrating this, because you want out, you know how the panels are going to look. So I know I'm not, and it's not about me. Whenever I write, I have to explain in the panel how I want the panel to look to the artist. And so I love that part that you can just do that. You can just write it and you just illustrate it the way you want to and how you know how it's going to look. So
yeah, and a lot of times for a lot of those scenes, like I said, and this is why I kind of I get more of a sense of the character more so than specific dialogue and beats and things, because I thought this was going to be 8 pages of drawn comic, and it ended up being 164. So I don't do a lot of like panel, like page thumbnailing. I do some thumbnailing when I really need to dial something in, but a lot of that was just what feels right for this page. And so especially when you get into some of the more trippy page layouts and the way that some of those panels break up.
Yeah.
A lot of that was, I don't even know exactly what's going into every panel, but here's this concept for a page layout that I had, and this is what I'm going to do. There's one specifically where she is, when Crystal's sent to the Mugen Man and she falls through the dream, and there's 3 panels of her falling, and she's like overlaid on top of the panels. And then on the left side, the panel is her face. Like the panels flow into like her profile. Like that whole page was really centered around the idea of those 3 panels with her face in profile. And so the artwork and stuff that went into it was a secondary thought after I'd kind of come up with that page layout. So yeah, it definitely, now obviously I write for other people. And so the form of writing that I do when I'm writing for other people is very different than what I do for myself.
Yeah.
So, and also it's different depending on who the artist is. Like I've got my friend Jay that I've done a lot of work with, and he's actually working on the 2nd issue of a story that we're doing called The Body. I just write it like it's prose. Like I just write a page or 2 of prose. He takes it, breaks it down, and basically once I've written it, I just give it to him. I'm like, here, break it down, do whatever you need to do with it. So it's a very different process when it's not me. I prefer writing and drawing it myself because it gives me all the freedom that I want to kind of go crazy.
I was going to tell you, because like the flow that you had in there, which I already knew that you had written it and you're drawing it. So to me, the flow was really easy to follow. It was really easy to follow, and it made it like a really easy read. And I go, man, because I love the angles, all the angles that you were doing on this. It was just to me, it was like a really easy read.
Yeah, because whenever I was reading it, I was it's when you're first reading it or when you're first going through it, it feels like it's a mess, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's a chaotic route that leads to one road and one end. One exit. And so that's why I was all like, oh man, this is kind of over. What is he? Like, what is going on? Oh my God, he's in a coma. Like I'm already invested now. So it's like one of those things, and it made me like, after I finished it, I go, oh, spoiler, it's him. The Mugen Man is oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. The
Mad Empyrean, the main bad guy.
The Empyrean. It made me wonder. I go, so on the Council of the Empyreans, did they see him like talking to himself, or did they already know? It just made me.
So they knew. So there's a line in there when he's kind of dialoguing, when he makes the reveal that he's an alternate version of Mugen Man. There's a line in there that he says they broke their own rules and they split reality inside the dream. So they knew what they were doing. They kind of set this whole thing up to prevent him from destroying the dreamscape.
Ah, dear Lord.
Now the only question I had is that there's alternate like dreamlines, right? Of him living a different life, right?
Yeah. So, and it's not explicitly said. It's kind of hinted at, I think, but I don't. Yeah, I kept a lot of that ambiguous because I don't. For one, I think it adds something to maintain mystery and not explain everything because you come out of it with questions that keep you engaged, right?
Right.
At least that's my philosophy. Whether that's the right philosophy for a writer, I don't know, but that's my take on it. But yeah, so the kind of the concept that I had for it was that there's all these different realities out there and branching timelines, and it kind of plays into, or we're going to get into my personal woo-woo belief system here, so just bear with me. So, in reality, in our actual world that we live in, like the meat world, we have Mandela effects, and we have like deja vu and all this other stuff. Like we have all these like weird memory things that humans experience. And as I've kind of thought through some of these things, and this is just a personal theory, I've kind of abandoned the idea of infinitely branching timelines, because I just don't, even assuming the multiverse is real at all, It's a thought experiment more than anything. But I've kind of abandoned the idea of the infinitely branching timelines and come back around to this idea that timelines branch, like probabilities branch timelines, but not all of those timelines stay separate. And so if you think about it, like the way that I put it to somebody when I was trying to explain it was, if I go down a certain road to get to work, but sometimes I also go down a different road to get to work in the morning, ultimately, if I arrive at my destination at the same time, I don't have any kind of car accident on the way there. Nothing that I do really changes the outcome of anything. I leave point A, I arrive at point B, nothing really happens in between. In the grand scheme of things, that choice didn't matter. And so while it may create a separate timeline, because I decided to go this way instead of that way, and in another reality, I went the other way, eventually those two timelines merge back together because there's no fundamental difference between them. Because that's one of the things with that branching timeline that has always bugged me. Like, you're telling me that because I chose Taco Bell over Arby's yesterday, like that created a whole new reality? That's crazy.
It's true.
I don't even understand. Like like the universe is very efficient with its use of matter, and that's an insanely inefficient use of matter. So anyway, but that kind of tie this back to the Mugen Man. That's the timeline structure that we're dealing with here, is this interweaving like tangle of probabilities. And so when you see the dreamscape from a high level, like you do towards the beginning of the book, where it's all the mandalas, or that's not the right word, but the like the patterns and stuff that are all overlaid on top of each other, that's meant to kind of represent those intertwining probabilities. And the Empyrean's job is keeping one probability's dreams from drifting into another probability's dreams. So whereas Mugen Man's wife is dead in his timeline, she's not dead in all the timelines, but because she is out there still as a dreamer somewhere, but not in his version of reality, the whole point of the Empyreans is to maintain that separation. Because if all of humanity across all of these probabilities all of a sudden shared this one collective unconscious, I mean, what would that do to human consciousness? What would that do to people's understanding of reality? How many people would be able to handle that,
Yeah.
And so that's the existential threat kind of at the core of the book.
That's, to be honest with you, now that you put it that way, I kind of feel sorry for that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not in a good place, man.
Yeah.
Like mentally and emotionally, and
it's disheartening a little bit, because he's trying to get there and he's not stopping at anything to get there. So
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah,
That's deep.
It's deep. It really kind of like, I knew it was already dark, but yeah, you talking about it now about that. Yeah.
Well, and so like I said, I'm an open book before we started recording, as I said, if you ask me a question or you want to know something, I'll tell you. I don't like. I'm an open book.
What's the word you say? Bang.
Bang.
What's
Yes.
the word you say? Bang.
Yeah. So
Yeah. But yeah, so you say it's dark and like it's bleak, and I mean it is. I mean, I am a lifelong sufferer of depression and anxiety, so that stuff mixes in with everything that I create. Actually, I can't keep it out. I've tried doing like kid-friendly books and stuff like that, and it's just like it still manages to get in there, and it's like I can't sell this to kids.
You're dark and twisted.
Yeah. Dark and twisted. Is that the comedian?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Shane McGillis?
Shane Gillis. Yeah. So
Yeah, if you hear an Australian accent, it's not. I'm pretty dark and twisted.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're Australian.
You guys watch Tires? I love that show.
I need to watch it. I heard it once. I heard he was on there. I was like, oh, I need to watch. I think it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's funny. Two seasons of very good show.
Now,
watch it.
Billy, is this this is what I'm thinking whenever I finish reading this book, this comic book. This is a one shot, right? You're not doing a second one on this one, right?
I'd kind of toyed around with revisiting this. It wouldn't anything that I ever come back to, like it would be a spiritual sequel, but it wouldn't be like Mugen Man 2 or anything like that.
Right.
From my perspective, that story is done.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not to say that there aren't other stories to tell that might exist in that world, but from the perspective of telling Mugen Man and Crystal's story, it's done.
Got it. Okay, that's what I kind of felt whenever I was reading it. I go, I don't think there's going to be a part 2 to this.
Yeah, because to me it was kind of like Inception, where he's there with his kids and he does the totem, and it makes you think like it's still spinning.
This is the way we want it to end.
Yeah, we kind of want it to end because he's happy whether it's a dream or not.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
and the last shot was wherever he is, I hope he's happy and he's with his wife and he's holding I was like, oh, that's how I would end it.
Yeah,
let him have it, please, because he fought so hard to have that and fought other things that he shouldn't have fought, and fighting himself literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a fantastic read.
Awesome.
I definitely love the artwork too. And like what Robert said, whenever you're, writing your own story and you're drawing how you see it in your mind, it flows better to me.
Yeah.
It really does. So I kind of get scared when they change an artist.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
And it's just like, oh my God, like why would you do it for like mid-series? If there's like a series on it and then they change new artwork, I'm like, why would you do that?
That's why Billy has control of all this.
Exactly. So
I like I said before, definitely it's my preferred method of creating comics. I've only ever actually done just the artwork on one. It was an anthology entry that I collaborated with another writer on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he wrote it and I just drew it. And it was a good story. I liked the guy. It was nothing against him. It's just not my thing. I don't like drawing other people's stories.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever do it again.
So you've done it once and you were just like, nah, this is enough for me.
Yeah, man. Like for me, like I'm definitely a concepts and stories guy first, and then the artwork, or the art part of it it's definitely a focus because it's comic books. I mean, most people read comics for the art, but for me, like those concepts and story ideas are what really get my juices flowing when it comes to making comics. It's not necessarily like I do enjoy drawing, obviously, but that's not the hook for me.
Right.
So
Are you gonna do like any like cryptid books or like Bigfoot or Mothman or anything like that?
So a buddy of mine, we are working on, we call the series The Body. And it's not necessarily cryptids, but it is an anthology series about UFO conspiracy theories and Basically, the concept behind it was, so, there's all these disparate UFO conspiracy theories or alien conspiracy theories. And you've got like the New Age people that they've got their aliens, and then you've got the Greys and, all this stuff. And, you also have all of these instances of these UFO flaps that coincide with Bigfoot flaps. So is Bigfoot part of the UFO conspiracy theory? I don't know. There's some weird entanglements there in certain cases. But I took all of these things and I pieced it all together into a coherent, well, as coherent as you can make all these things, like shared world. And now we're just telling one-off stories in that world that I kind of pieced together, which was really, that was inspired by, I went back and watched the X-Files, but I only watched the quote mythology episodes that were specifically about like the alien conspiracy theory. And when you're watching the show as it was coming out, because those episodes were so spread apart and you'd only get like 2 or 3 of them in a season, it seemed like, oh yeah, everything makes sense. When you watch those all back to back on Netflix or whatever, that show's mythology makes absolutely no sense. It is a mess. And
it's a lot of filler episodes, and
well, the best episodes of the X-Files are the Monster of the Week episodes. I mean, but
I would agree.
But so I that was kind of the inspiration. Was like, well, if I wanted to tell all these one-off stories, I don't want to contradict myself, so I have to kind of build onto all this stuff. Like I can't. I have to connect all the dots before I can let the stories start telling themselves sometimes.
I can tell you as a Bigfoot researcher, I've been in areas that has known Bigfoots, that has sightings, and I've picked up I found footprints, I've heard yells, I heard screams, and Steven's, been in the same areas with me. And it like months later, I encountered like some kind of strange lights that I thought were like a vehicle coming up the road, and they weren't. And as I noticed it, it just like took off in the woods that were, floating around trees, and they were like changing different colors. Was it UFO? I don't know. Was it paranormal? I don't know. But I can tell you the same areas that I've done Bigfoot stuff. I've come across stuff like that. So I don't really know. So I mean. As a researcher,
that's the wild part about Bigfoot is, like I said, you'll have these UFO flaps, and then you'll get just a few like Bigfoot sightings thrown in there. But the orbs, man, the light orbs accompanied by, not accompanied by, but happening in the same area that people have had Bigfoot sightings. It's fascinating to me. Like, there's so much weird stuff, and we've kind of talked about this, face to face. And like I definitely trend. I didn't used to. So when I was a kid growing up and I was watching like Bigfoot Hunters and, the A&E and Discovery Channel and History Channel shows or whatever. And, watching the Zapruder film. No, that's JFK. the one, oh God, the classic Bigfoot.
The Patterson Gimlin.
The Patterson film. That's it. Sorry.
That's okay.
The Zapruder film.
We can talk about that later on. So
yeah, I'm getting my conspiracies mixed up, man. So like there was a point in time where to me, Bigfoot seemed like a flesh and blood creature, like some form of like ape or some offshoot of human evolution that we hadn't discovered. Or that, something in that neighborhood at least. And as I've gotten older and I've kind of expanded my horizons into more of this woo-woo stuff, as people like to say, man, I don't know. So it's one of those things. My take on the whole Bigfoot question is, where there's smoke, there's fire. Too many people have seen too much stuff for there not to be anything to this. There has to be some element of reality to this. So now what is that element of reality? I don't know. But I do find it, I don't know if it's necessarily what I subscribe to, but there's the idea that I believe it was Anton LaVey, the Church of Satan guy. So
yes,
sorry, but
no, that's fine.
He has kind of put forth this idea that when people experience these supernatural or paranormal experiences, that it really is about like there's this field of energy or whatever you want to call it that just exists. And there's something in the human mind that completes that circuit, is the way that it's been put to me that makes the most sense. So you've got this energy field that just exists, and every now and then it makes contact with the human brain, and it flips something. And depending on kind of what you're bringing to the table, you're filling in the gaps. So for, if you're already inclined to see aliens or UFOs or whatever, like that connecting presents itself as UFOs. If you're like a woodsman and you're already kind of in that headspace, it presents itself as Bigfoot. If, or it presents itself as ghosts or, whatever, name your cryptid, name your supernatural phenomenon. But it's all kind of a representation of the same thing. I don't know that I 100% buy into that, but it's an interesting concept. It's an interesting idea. It gives you a different place to kind of approach this stuff from, I think.
Yeah. I can tell you from experience, like Steven and I, we've had conversations like this when we interview other people who have eyewitness reports. Like we ask them the question and we ask them, hey, I know that you had this Bigfoot sighting, but have you seen other stuff? Have you seen have you seen, and they'll go into a story about, they've had some paranormal things. They've seen some UFO things. And Steven and I call it the thinning of the veil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So whenever, because sometimes I believe like Bigfoots choose you to see them sometimes.
Yep.
Like I haven't seen a physical Bigfoot, but I've seen footprints. They've thrown rocks at me. They've whistled. They've screamed at me. They slapped on the cabin that I was on, like sleeping in. But I know they know I'm interested in them. So I think they kind of toy with me, but we've kind of run across the exact same thing that you just explained in a better way than I'm explaining it now. But I we always run across that. We want right, Steven? Wouldn't you say that?
Yeah, I think he's on like something right there where you bring something to the table. If you cross, it's like not the perfect storm, but it's like
right.
You're the it's the outlet, it's there, and you're the plug. And when you plug in
for sound, frequency,
it shows right in front of you, like
energy.
For instance, recently, your car stopped at 7-Eleven. Right?
Yeah, Billy. I didn't tell you this. This happened yesterday. Go ahead and say it. Okay.
Luckily, the 7-Eleven's like literally across the street from where we live. So I had to get the jumper cables and I forgot what it was. I think a wrench or something.
Or something, yeah.
And I finally, it took me a while to find the stuff. It literally took, and I felt like I was rushed because I was like, he's there. Luckily, he's at 7-Eleven, but I'm like, he's there. He wants to get home. He just got off work.
And you know what? And not to cut you off, but I didn't feel angry. I didn't feel like anxiety. I was really calm. I said, you know what? I'm at 7-Eleven. There's a lot of people here.
That's the best place to be.
The best place to be. I'm okay. I said, if he takes his time, he takes his time. I don't
exactly.
care.
But at the same time,
and I was putting out the energy. I said, I wonder if someone's going to help me.
Yeah.
But go ahead with the story.
So I finally, it felt like 10 minutes. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get the jumper because I was looking for something else. The cleaner thing. Yeah. To clean the battery or whatever. I get the jumper. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get the jumper cables and I get in the car, close the garage, pull out, literally like not even like 3-minute drive, exit my neighborhood. And then there across the street is a 7-Eleven. I go and I turn in the back where 7-Eleven, he was telling me where he was at. And as soon as I pull up, I see him, the car. I see him with the car. The hood is up.
The hood is up. Yeah.
I see him. But most importantly, I see a guy with the cap on, like helping him. And I'm all like, oh, okay. Someone's helping him. Cool. So I pull in kind of close because there was no parking spot next to him. Someone else was parked there. So I parked on the other side of the curb and it has like the vacuum like air thing.
It was kind of blocking you.
It was kind of it was blocked as soon as like I turned and aligned the car. It was blocking the view, and it cut the I guess that person that was there, and then it cut Robert off, and I stayed in the car because I was all like, okay, someone's helping him.
So
cool.
I was kind of thinking, I said, what's he waiting on? I said, is he gonna come out of the car? So I walk over there to you, right?
Yeah.
And then I grabbed like the wrench and stuff.
And then I'm all like, hey, who's the guy helping you? And you go, what guy? I go, there was a guy next by the hood
next to me, yeah.
Looking at
I go, dude, there was nobody there.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, I saw it clear as day. I see Robert and I see a guy with a cap looking in his car, like
looking down at
the hood,
at the battery.
Yeah. And I'm all like, oh, sweet. Someone's helping him. And there's a car right next to it. So I'm like, oh, okay. He's going to jump start Robert. Cool. Awesome. Great. And that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
That was not the case. So I've actually because that, obviously that's not a Bigfoot sighting. That's, was that like some spiritual manifestation or whatever? Like, what was that thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've actually had not similar in a way in that it's more supernatural or whatever. But so I have 2 kids, and we've lived in the house that we're in now for about, I think it's 7 years. My daughter's 8. And when we moved in, there was an older couple. Well, I say older. There was an old couple that lived next door to us. And the guy was in really poor health. He ended up passing away. But there was one night, and this I believe was after he had passed away. And I don't know the guy. Like, I never interacted with him. So I'm making wild accusations. But there was one night that, we had the baby monitor and all that stuff. My daughter was probably like 4, maybe 5 years old, something like that. Maybe even 3. She was somewhere in that neighborhood. I mean, she was young, she's a toddler. And she started crying. We heard it on the baby monitor. And so I got up and I went upstairs and I walked into her room. The second that I opened the door, I was certain that something was in that room with me, and it wasn't her. I mean, she was there, but there was something else there. And her room has kind of like this nook that's off to the side where her window is, because her room is kind of part of it's one of the corners is kind of cut into by my son's closet. So it creates like this L-shaped room kind of. And that corner by that window and that nook there was something there, something bad in that corner. Like, I felt it with every fiber of my being. I felt chills go all across my body when I looked into that corner of her room. And then suddenly it went away. It stopped, and I felt something else. And so my father-in-law passed away in 2010. So long before we ever had kids or anything like that. But I would swear to you on my life that my father-in-law entered that room and was standing next to me at my daughter's crib, and his presence pushed whatever that other thing was out of the room. That's the only way that I can describe anything that happened to me that night, because it was as real as anything I've ever experienced. And so, I think you get into these certain situations where like you're just more connected to things. Obviously, this was in the middle of the night. And so I was woken up, and I'm kind of in that like halfway between being asleep and being awake.
Yeah.
So, the skeptics would say, well, you were just having some weird dream thing that, came into your waking world because you weren't completely awake. I don't think that's what it was. That's not what it felt like, but who knows?
I believe it.
Yeah, I think Steve and I, we've talked about this a lot of times. The dream state, you're more open to like paranormal or, any kind of spiritual being. And because I know we've talked about like your brother passing, right, Steven? And he was coming to come see you. And like whenever my dad died, your grandfather, he came to me like in a dream, and he was telling me not to sue like the hospital or something like that. He told me like, he didn't say don't sue it. He just says, let it go. And like, I was trying to sue like the hospital who had we felt who had, wronged my father. And I was getting like lawyers up together and stuff like that. And I was going to approach like some law firm. And I had a dream that he came to me and says, let it go. And like, it was like real as day. Like I felt like he was in the room. He was touching me. I could smell his aftershave, everything. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, I told my mom, I said, hey, I'm, I don't think we're going to do that. And she got real upset with me, but she's fine. But, we always believe that. We always believe that, dreaming. Cause I think we have a couple episodes that we just talk about dreams, right?
Yeah. And I've realized I've seen things, ghosts that I'm not like that. Obviously that right there, I didn't feel threatened by it. I didn't feel concerned. I literally think that whoever passed in that area was legit concerned for you. And I was like, oh,
let's go help this guy.
Let's go help this guy.
Yeah. It's just like a helpful old mechanic guy or whatever.
And it was clear as day. Cause that lamp or that light post right there for that side was shining down on you, or for the side of the building. I think is a light.
Yeah.
And it was shining down at you, and I saw you and I saw him. Like, I'm just like, oh, okay, cool.
Like I was telling you before, I was putting out energy and I said, I wonder who's going to help me.
And that person was trying to help you.
Yeah, he was trying to help me. So I was putting.
This was your fault. You did it.
I know.
He's like, well, it's a dead battery. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then
maybe your battery was dead because his ghost sucked the battery juice.
You know what? It was like because like I put the key in and I turn it and it would go. It would just do that.
Yep.
But like the radio,
totally dead.
Yeah, the radio would play and stuff like that, but I just couldn't turn it. And I go,
But that I've seen things a lot more than I don't want to. I'm not.
Yeah,
happens.
You're not asking it to. Either.
I'm not asking it to. I saw a car that it just disappeared. I saw, that old
that shadow over in Cleburne.
Yeah, that one was after what they told me what that was. Like, oh, that could have been threatening. And then I saw the old guy whenever you were in the hospital.
Oh yeah,
that was the next room over, and
I saw him too. Like,
yeah, so it's just a lot of things.
I saw him, I think, like 2 or 3 days before you did.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're just kind of connected to a lot of stuff. So
I don't know.
Yeah, and I think you can do things like you said. You're putting out an energy, like you're showing an interest, and I think. Where a lot of people, so again, we're going to get woo-woo here for a second.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people don't bring the right energy to these situations because what I've noticed, I mean, I had some weird experiences when I was a kid. I mean, some, like one. Like I told you when I was a kid, we lived way out in the country, and there was this, I don't know, several people had seen this like black deer with bright red eyes in the area. And I actually saw it one day while on my bike riding to a friend's house. And of course, I'm in the middle of the frickin' woods on this little old top road. My friend's house is 2 miles away and I'm halfway between his house and mine. So it's like I'm completely alone and I look over into the woods and I see this black deer in the woods. It's like, that's not what deer are supposed to look like. Like we see deer, they're not that color and their eyes aren't that color. So like I have seen some things like that, but what I've started to notice is that as you open yourself up to these things more and do it in a way that is genuine and legitimate and is not, like the kids, whatever, I sound like an old man, but when they approach things ironically, like, oh yeah, I want to go out hunting and see Bigfoot. And there's no authenticity to that desire. But
yeah, it's true.
I think if you approach these things with a genuine authenticity and you're open to these experiences and you have kind of opened your mind up to the possibility of things, they present themselves to you way more readily than if you have kind of shut yourself down to it completely or, aren't coming at it with the right energy. I don't know. I think, man, we know so little about the world that we live in. Like, who knows what's really going on, right? I mean, we can't even prove that we don't live in a computer simulation. So who's to say?
Yeah.
I just know that whenever I've heard some like, and you've probably seen it on Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters or any type of paranormal stuff. If you are I don't consider myself a broken person. I just lost a lot of people. Robert's lost a lot of people, and I find myself that I can be emotionally like damaged to that because of the grief and the guilt and all that stuff. That it could be an easy attachment. So that's why I eliminate the possibility. And I told Robert before, I go, hey, I know you gone out ghost hunting or investigations, all that. I do not want to put myself in a situation where I bring something home.
Yeah.
Because I have kids, I have a wife, and I do not want to bring that here. So when the opportunity came when we met the Ghoul Gals
Paranormal,
and Cleburne, they were all like, hey, we're gonna go do an investigation now. I was like, no, and they're like, it's right behind the restaurant that we're eating at. And I was like, damn it. So how do I get out of this? Exactly. Well, I didn't want to. I was like, I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna toughen up and I'm gonna go. But literally, because it was like right behind the restaurant, and we had to drive out and then park at a weird angle.
Yeah.
I was already out and I was looking at it, and I could just tell. I was like, okay, something's there. And I was like praying to myself. I was like, oh, like Lord, Mom. I was like speaking to people that I've lost. I go, if you're here, if you can hear me, please stay with me. Stay with me. I know you're a lot of people say they're always with you. I need them there right now.
Yeah.
Because it's something that I do not want to bring home. So we went in there. It was all good and gravy until we go upstairs.
Yeah.
And I look into the corner and I see a shadow, like tall shadow, looking over a corner, and it's looking at me. I felt like it was looking at me, and then it just quickly, like not ran away, but like I guess merged around the corner.
At the same time, this house was right next to a library that had a full uniform from the Civil War.
Yep.
So I mean,
Confederate soldier.
Confederate soldier. So there's this thing. This thing I have, Billy. I call it bleed over. Mm-hmm. Whenever you have a property or you have another like dwelling that's close to another one that may have some relics,
and it was super close.
Yeah, they were like
you could open the window and touch
the other building. Yeah. So I call it bleed over. Whenever you get like a ghost from another location, they'll just like kind of bleed over to that building. Mm-hmm. So I was telling my ghost, it's probably bleed over.
I didn't connect this dot very well, but the reason I mentioned the neighbor who had passed away, was in my head, he was the thing in the corner.
Yeah,
and that I don't know why I felt so sure that was him, but I did. But I totally buy into that 100%.
Yeah, he was probably scared, didn't know where he was at, and he was just trying to figure stuff out. And and you came in, and your father-in-law came in too, and said, "Hey, get out."
Yeah.
And it's really weird too. Like my son, this was in a previous house that we lived in. He was a baby, and so I mean, like 2-3 years old. And I wasn't home for this, but my wife was home with him, and he was just in his room playing, and he was talking to somebody. And this is like that cliche story that you hear, but I mean, he literally said, "Oh, I'm playing with Pops," which was my father-in-law's name.
Yeah,
like that was what he would have been called had his grandchildren been born while he was still alive. And that's what everybody, like all of his kids' friends, called him Pops and all that stuff. We had never told William, my son, that was what people called his grandfather that he'd never met.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm just playing with Pops." And I'm like, and so my wife, like, we had a picture, and she was like, "Is this who?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's Pops." It's like, how do you know that?
Yeah. That's creepy, but kind of cool at the same time.
Creepy and kind of cool. But I've always felt that that's like a thing,
Yeah.
Especially if they leave before, grandchildren are born, there's some type of connection that it brings them back. I don't know. And I feel like they are the perfect guardian angels.
They're open to that too.
Yeah. And
and I think kids too, like they're not jaded yet. Like
Right,
they
yep.
haven't bought in completely to what we have restricted our reality to. And like, so one of the other things that I have had a lot of interest in the past is chaos magic and how you can actually change your reality through concentrated effort and some other activities. I've never been a practicing chaos magician, so I don't know how much you know about chaos magic, but I haven't done any rituals. I'll put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the whole thing is wrapped around this idea that with enough intensified will, you can change reality. Like reality is not this fixed thing that we believe that it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of believe to a certain extent that a lot of the reason the way the world is because we have collectively chosen to believe that that's the way the world is. And, you know, the way that I put it to a friend one time was, you know, if suddenly the entire world collectively believed that there was actually a kid named Peter Parker who lived in Queens, New York, and was bitten by a radioactive spider, and I mean legitimately and genuinely believed it, that would manifest itself somehow. Like, I think that we as human beings, there is that connection that we all have, the collective unconscious. You know, take this back to the Mugen Man.
Mm-hmm.
That collective unconscious that we all share. I totally believe that. Like, you'll never convince me that's not a thing. And I think that we have collectively built this reality. I definitely subscribe to the aneristic principle that reality is chaos and we layer lenses of orders of control on top of it, and we make it what it is. I don't think that there's some grand order to reality and to the universe. I think we have inflicted that upon it. And if you strip all that stuff away, you just get this boiling chaos. And again, a lot of that stuff kind of bleeds into the Mugen Man.
Mhm.
Like Dreamscape is chaos. And really what the dreamers are doing is layering their own definition of order onto elements of the dream to form it. So that's why like Mugen Man can do what he does, is because he has that collective willpower, because he's in a coma, to shape the dream to his whim. It's just willpower. And like I said, so that's when you ask me what's the inspiration for Mugen Man, like dude, it's literally coming from everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah. That's
I like that.
Billy. That's like deep, dude.
That's deep, man. That what you just said should be a bumper sticker.
The longest bumper sticker ever. It's a banner. It's just a banner that you have to hang behind your car.
Yeah.
So much.
And it will catch people off guard. They're going to be like, hold on, I got to follow this man here because he's got a heck of a story of a banner.
He's bending my reality.
Am I driving? I don't know. It's driving me insane. Love it.
Oh, man. Billy, we've been going an hour. That's usually our deal on the show. We go an hour. How does our listeners find all of your stuff and you?
So the place where I am most active is on Instagram. You can either search for me by my name, Billy Dixon, Dixon, or my @ is scribbly_comics. Now people get tripped up, and you know, this is one of those things. If I'd have put any thought into this, I would have not chosen this as a name for my comic book stuff, but the ship has sailed. So it's not scribbly as in like the word scribbly. It is scribbilly, like
Scribbly.
SCRI,
Okay.
my name, Billy_comics.
Oh, okay.
So people get tripped up on that sometimes. And also you can find me at scribblycomics.com. That's my website.
Man, we definitely got to get you back on, dude.
Hey man, I'll anytime you guys want to talk about it, you want to talk about 3-Eye Atlas and how everybody thought that was aliens?
Yeah, we can do that for another show for sure. But man, hey, thank you so much for coming on. I have one request for you.
Okay.
And it's kind of long, and I apologize. But can you do a soundbite for me? Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. He's Australian or something.
I know, man. We have this thing. We've interviewed a lot of people from Australia, and wow, it almost bled over.
I know.
And,
Oh, really? My Australian accent is completely based on the cartoon show Bluey.
yeah, that's where I'm getting it from, honestly. Or that and Steve Irwin. But anyway, every person that we've talked to and had them do that, like they did it in one take.
Yeah. Everybody else,
like, wow.
Everybody else has. Oh, I gotta do it again. I gotta do it again. And like we've interviewed like 10 people from Australia,
And they've never disappointed.
disappointed. So
All in one take.
It was funny because like you guys were joking before I came in about, getting the introduction and stuff in one take. And dude, I used to host a podcast with a buddy of mine, and it is painful how many times you have to stop and start because it's like, hang on, what are we even doing?
Yeah.
I'm totally lost. So yeah, it's funny. And a lot of times I would just leave that stuff in just because it was funny. But because I also was the editor, so I could make my co-host sound like an idiot if I wanted to.
yeah.
Nice.
But Billy, thank you so much for coming on. I know we were trying really hard to get you on for a while. Thank you again also for hooking me up with Mr. Price and Bigfoot Knows Karate.
Oh yeah, man. I hope he can come back on when his next Kickstarter's launching.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's actually I've given him a couple pointers on like Bigfoot stuff. And I said, hey, Bigfoots do this. Or hey, as a Bigfoot researcher, I've known that and he goes, okay, yeah. I mean, like he's hopefully he uses some of the stuff that we gave him. And
I feel like I feel like he's getting tired of my movie references that I see in his drawings. Because I go, hey, I noticed that this person right here kind of resembles Zod. What can you tell me about that? And they're all like, damn it. I wasn't thinking that, but now I am.
You're not supposed to say the quiet part out loud, man.
Yeah.
I go, this one kind of looks like a Gozer from Ghostbusters. They're like, damn it.
I was wondering if it was going to come up because there was a page. So I slipped some stuff into this book.
Uh-huh.
So like there's one page, like it's like the first page. It has Superman on like in the panel. I mean, it's not obvious that it's him, but it's definitely, I drew Superman. And then much more obviously, there is a page that just blatantly has Godzilla in the background.
Okay.
I want to say.
And I was wondering if anybody was going to call me out on that. But yeah, dude, I just straight up was like, I want to draw Godzilla. I'm going to put Godzilla on this page. I'm
going to have to go back and reread it.
Yeah, no, damn it.
I'm sorry I missed that.
Yeah, no, it's yeah.
It's this part. It's the establishing shot for the train scene for the commuter hell chapter.
Oh, okay.
You see the train moving in front of the city, and in the background you see Godzilla moving through the buildings of the city. Because we didn't get into this, man. There's a whole I could have kept going forever, but we didn't even touch on the concept of tulpas and
we did
all that stuff. So
sounds like we need a part 2.
Yeah, we do. Billy, I'm gonna try to put this out tomorrow because I gotta go to bed early. I gotta wake up early to go into work tomorrow.
You do have to work tomorrow
on Saturday.
Yeah, we're doing fire inspections in Crum and Corinth, so it takes a little bit.
Just send the new guy.
He's going too, but because I gotta go because I gotta show him where all the stuff's at. All the
FaceTime him.
Okay, FaceTime him. Okay,
send him the blueprints.
Yeah,
FaceTime him. He'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you so much, and I'll send you the link before I post it. Okay.
Okay. Cool. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Blessed.
All right. Bye.
He's great. I love him.
If you are listening to the show for the first time, thank you. If you are a continued member listening to the show, double thank you. You can listen to our podcast on anywhere you listen to podcasts. Please find us on social media with a like, follow, subscription, or a 5-star review, and it really helps us bring more quality content to you. If you would like to reach out to us via phone, 469 9121535, or email bigfootclub1@gmail.com. I bid you good night and goodbye. Bang.